All right. In this episode, we are joined by Jay from the class of 2020. Jay, how are you?
Doing pretty good. How are you?
Doing well, thank you. Thank you for joining me today. I'm looking forward to doing a little Friday interview. These are always great. It's so good to see you again. All right. So think back a million years, back to when you were in middle school. Uh, why did you think that early college would be a good fit for you?
We actually got talked to at my middle school. I came to a very small middle school. There's like 12 of us eighth graders, and they kind of talked to us about like our different options of local high schools because a lot of us were from all over the county. So they gave us between this one, scholars, and then the ACAS. And this one was one close to home, which was really helpful because a lot of them are far. But I felt like early college was going to be less stressful than scholars because the way that you guys do your curriculum and how you guys like bring us into the college is not like all up front in your face. It's more like we're going to guide you in how we like want you guys to respond as college students. So they really like kind of segue us like talking about like the school by showing us that like it's not stressful. It is stressful, but like it's not as like hardcore as like it could be. So it's really like we're gonna teach you every step of the way, and I just throw you in blind, which I found really comforting because I didn't really know a lot about college. I was a first gen college student, so the thought of just being pushed in was scary. So that the way that they taught us about the school was that they're like, we're gonna teach you, like, we're gonna take you through every step, and we're gonna actually like guide you through so you can learn and also be the best student you could be. And so that's what really brought me into like the idea of trying to go to early college when I first learned about it.
Love it. And I like the idea too. I mean, as an eighth grader, to be thinking like, they're going to be asking a lot of me. Am I going to be prepared? And then to have that realization that yeah, we're going to walk with you every step of the way to truly get you ready for whatever's next. Had to be comforting.
Yeah, very.
Sure. All right, so you get the acceptance letter, and now you're coming to Bridge Week.
So Bridge Week was also kind of scary because we were well, like one we were a whole class from everywhere. So like usually, when you go to high school or like you go to middle school or elementary school, it's all the same cohort that you always are with. Um, so meeting a lot of new people was kind of scary. But we played a lot of fun games, which also helped like learn each other because we're going to see the same class people for the next 4 years. And so the fact that we had to go through a bunch of different games and a bunch of different talks like allowed us to like actually see face to face before we're just like starting the first day of school, being like, I know nobody and I don't know what's going on. And so Bridge Week was actually like a really helpful time to like introduce us to the professors, the teachers that we'll be working with, the students that we'll be seeing every single day. So we can already make some of those early connections. So when we first came in, we're like, oh, I know you. Like I saw you at Bridge Week. So let's have lunch together. Or, oh, you're in my class. So we can like segue into be like, oh, I saw you and we can hang out now. So like it really was like a good like before we started like time where we could actually meet everybody, which I think helps as well because you're already starting a new like place, but being able to see some familiar faces is a really comforting like type of
Sure.
deal.
For sure. All right, so you got through Bridge Week. You get there into your first semester with us. Uh, and which advisory were you in?
So I started off with oh, she left. What was her name? Wilson. I started off with Miss Wilson, and then she kind of left the first year in, which is completely fine. So I would start off with Miss Wilson, and then oh, who took over? Oh no, now I'm blanking who took over. um,
Hilarious.
yeah, I was like, I forget who took over because I know like with Miss Wilson, like we did a lot of like stuff that first year when we started with her. So like she's a very imprinted because we did a lot of the breast cancer awareness like activities for advisory. And now I can't remember who we took over our advisory when she left. Who was it?
Did Miss McCoy take over?
I think so. I think so.
Really,
Yeah, yeah,
really
yeah.
tall lady.
Yeah. I was trying to think because like I know like Miss Wilson like very like imprinted in my brain. I'm like, okay, I
Right.
know through and through, but then I just could
Gotcha.
not remember. It was also a million years ago. And
Right.
not really, but it feels like it.
Million and a half years ago. That was pre-COVID. Uh,
Yeah.
and so Ms. McCoy also does a really nice job usually with advisory in terms of kind of trying to promote family. Why is
Yeah.
it so important to have those kind of relationships as you navigate the challenges of early college?
It definitely helps because it's somewhere like you have to meet with advisory every week, which also really helped because you can like debrief from the week. So if you had questions about any like events that were going on, if you had questions about like your coursework or you had issues with maybe a teacher or other students, like you can kind of talk with your same advisory group and kind of work through any issues that people might also be experiencing, which was really nice because we could all kind of get together and be like, okay, well, this is going on. Like, are you having this issue? And then we all can talk about the issues together. Um, and it really helped with a lot of like uncertainty, like especially like going towards COVID. None of us knew what was going on, and so we were all just like super stressed that last like year. I mean, like, well, what are we supposed to do if it doesn't like continue with school or nothing, or if we're closed down and everything? So it's really like that comforting like cohort of like okay, we're having to talk every single week, but we also get to do events too. And I know like early college is very big on a lot of like outreach, which we get to do with our advisory. So we did a lot of breast cancer awareness outreach when we were there. And we did a bunch of like festivals. We were able to plan all of the events that we wanted to do within reason, but we got to plan all the stuff that we wanted to do together, which was nice. And we also all got to go like a lot of us went to like play card and stuff and we got to do a lot of that stuff together um, and we'd have like advisory parties and stuff and so we got to see like the same group of students all the time and a lot of us are still friends today which is really nice as well.
Yeah, that's cool. That's the whole point with advisory, right? Like we're going to be the same group. We're going to be together. We're family, whether we like each other or not.
Yeah.
We're still going to see you. No, that's great. That's awesome. I love the part two where you talk about all the service and getting the opportunity to plan it. I think for a lot of people, they're just used to if they are involved in the community, it's just let me sign up and show up, which is definitely very much needed. But to have the opportunity to plan and grow as a 14-year-old, 15-year-old is invaluable experience because we need more leaders, less followers. All right, so you had advisory, and you actually were lucky enough to have two. Uh, that's always good. And you start taking those college classes from tech. Were they what you expected?
Not really. I wasn't sure what to expect necessarily, because none of my family went to college. So in my brain, it's like, you see what you see on TV. Um, but at least like the classes we had freshman year before we started to go into college classes, at least prepared us like note wise. So even if we didn't know like the professors we were starting to take with, we were knowing, okay, well, this is how we run notes. So like if we know how to take these notes, we can probably get through the class. So I think like it was a little stressful, but once we started to get into the college classes, like they did reflect on their freshman year class, like how they were taught. Like we had expectations of completing our assignments on time, making sure we took good notes, making connections with our professors and teachers. So at least like when we went to college classes, it really did kind of bridge between freshman year of like all these skills that we did learn just at like a different level. Like we were one step higher of like we don't know the professors as well that we're taking college classes with, so it's a little different. But it was like, okay, they probably do hold the same expectations of us. So as long as we uphold the expectations we were taught, we should do fine in class. And a lot of us had classes together too, at least starting out, which was also really helpful.
Yeah, those first few where it's just early college only, uh, you just have a professor with your early college people
Yeah,
before we start getting you into classes with adults and all that. Cool. All right, so junior year, more college classes. Senior year, more college classes. Your senior year is an interesting year, uh, and I thought I was over it, but through doing these interviews, I guess I'm not. I think I have PTSD because you are the class of 2020, which is the COVID class. Uh, how did, and it's actually pretty ironic we're talking today, right? Because it was exactly 5 years ago.
yeah.